This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. Interviewing musicians, comedians, sports personalities, and many, many other individuals all over the world, sharing their story of encouragement, inspiration, what they've been through, what they've gone through, as well as amazing musicians from all over the world. Kick back and relax. For some amazing people you probably have never heard of and their story. Each of us have a story of hope, of courageousness, of inspiration. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast. It's always about encouraging others.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Chit and Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. I'm so excited to have you back for another fun, exciting episode. Thanks so much for joining the podcast. And as always, please subscribe and follow the podcast. It can be heard on iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast platforms, as well as our website, chitandchatpodcast.com at CHITNCHAT podcast.com. I'm so excited today. I'll be introducing my guests here in a few minutes, but I wanted to let you know the musicians who'll be on today, sharing their music. I'll be sharing a song by Kate Voss and Mr. Gessel, My Blue Heaven. A song by Francesca Tarantino, a young up-and-coming singer who'll be on the podcast later this month, in the coming months. Her song called My Runaway, and a song by Grieve the Astronaut called A Million Hands. My guest today was an NCAA football assistant coach and head coach from 1968 to 2005. In that time frame, he had coached Air Force, Clemson, Rice, and the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was also on the 1964 National Championship Arkansas Razorback team. He was an All-American, first-team All-American punt returner. And a few of his teammates were back in the days, Jimmy Johnson, who coached the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones, who's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor today to have on Coach Ken Hatfield here on the Chit and Chat Encouraging One Another podcast.
Hello, Coach.
Well, somehow we got connected, Jody. It's a miracle. Miracles still happen. I don't know how.
Good Lord works in mysterious ways.
It does, I guarantee you, because I guess I downloaded that podcaster Spotify app too. And so now they want me to do something. I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Hey, I got you on. It's all that matters to me.
All right, but we're on anyway.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great today. How about yourself up there?
I'm kicking and breathing, and the Lord's got me blessed, so I'm good.
Good. That's great, Jody. We are blessed, and we don't take any day for granted. We enjoy each and every day.
Yes, sir. And not too often do I pinch myself when I have a guest on, but I definitely am today because I'm so thankful for your time and having you on the podcast today. Thank you so much.
Well, it's an honor to be with you. And in recruiting, both for West Point and Air Force Academy, we pretty much got to go to all 50 states, recruiting. So it really was good to meet good people all around the country. So I enjoyed going up there and recruiting when we were at both the academies. And so anyway, it's good to refresh some old memories.
Before we dive into some fun conversations, I'd like to throw some icebreaker questions at you. You have your thinking cap on. It'll be a few easy ones for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go, man.
If I give you and the missus 2 tickets anywhere in the world, where are you going and why?
Well, we're probably going to go to Branson, Missouri, because we like hanging out over there. all the grandkids can't get to us over there, so we know we're safe over there, and we can enjoy the lakes. We can enjoy the wonderful shows and just kicking back and everything. That'd be as good as anything.
How long you been married, by the way?
We've been married. I was married my first wife almost 40 years, and she passed away. And Cindy's husband had passed away when he was only 57 years old. So we've been married for 11 years now. We dated every night for 3 years before we got married. And then we've been married 11 years now.
Awesome, awesome. Question number 2: what's your favorite meal? Breakfast, lunch? I'm from the South, from Arkansas. I'm not saying dinner. I'm saying supper. So breakfast, lunch, or supper? Which one's your favorite time to eat?
Supper, no doubt. And I probably would pig out on some barbecue somewhere or another.
Barbecue or fried fish? You got me.
You bet.
We'll be friends forever. If
Yeah.
you go back in time and attend 3 sporting events of your choosing, which 3 are you choosing and why?
I would choose right now our senior year at Arkansas in the last game that we ever played because we won. We beat Nebraska in the Cotton Bowl, and then that night, Texas defeated Alabama and Joe Namath, and we actually ended up winning the national championship. So those 2 sporting events taking place on the same day would probably be as good as anything you could, that I could enjoy once again. Other than that, I've enjoyed and been blessed, enjoyed everything. I've been to Wimbledon, enjoyed some tennis over there, watching people play, and sponsored a team over there one time. And I've enjoyed almost every sporting event, and we follow the Razorbacks wherever they go too. So,
of course,
I just I enjoy each and every one of them. I don't know that there's one I would say I wish I had been at because I've been blessed to be enough of them anyway, Jody.
Nice, nice. What's the most out-of-date piece of technology you have and still use today?
Well, I don't use phones anymore, and obviously I'm not very good at using this thing I've got in front of me now because I found a way to mess up everything I've got right here on trying to get a password and getting in on all. I don't even know what the heck my passwords are on all those different things. Facebook to Instagram to Google to I don't know what the heck is there. But anyway, that's the technology that got me more confused than anything else. So anyway,
with you. My wife has all my passwords, so I forget. I email her or call her. What's that password to this or that?
That's right. But she does. Yeah, she's got mine someplace. I just need to get with her quicker.
My brother-in-law chimed in with a question for you. From birth to today, what's your most memorable moment in your career, in your life, that's really impacted your life?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I thought about it, and you mentioned you might ask it, but it was in June of 1965. That's when I was in church at First United Methodist in Helena, and as a choir was playing, and the last stanza was playing everything, I felt the Lord called me to go down front, and went down front and told the pastor I thought I'd found Jesus. And that's the day I got home. I said, Lord, I know I wasn't ready, and I know you weren't ready because I'm gonna I'm gonna lose a lot of innings this game of life. But the only thing I promise you today is I'll never quit trying. So that's the greatest day and the greatest moment with all the ups and downs. That's almost 57 years ago, but it was after attending a Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp in Estes Park, Colorado, where Tom Landry spoke, and Paul Anderson, the world's strongest man, spoke, a guy who's lifted 6,270 pounds up off the ground with a back lift. And he got up and challenged everybody to meeting, said, hey, if the world's strongest man can't get through one day of his life without Jesus Christ, how do you think you can?
Amen. Amen.
He challenged everybody, and that's where I've never forgot it, and I still try to keep on trucking one day at a time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get a little. Some folks might not know who you are. I know because I grew up watching you coach the Razorbacks. Give a little brief bio who Coach Ken Hatfield is, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm from the state of Arkansas. I was born here in Arkansas, and very fortunate. We had some good teams where I was in Helena. We won the state in American League in baseball and also in basketball. Got fortunate to have a scholarship at the University of Arkansas. Came up at a great time when Frank Broyles had been here several years, getting the program going super. And our senior year, we went 11-0. We won all the national championships after the bowl games were over. And so anyway, after we finished that, I'd majored in accounting, and I'd also was in ROTC. So I was going in the Army for 2 years. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. And while I was in basic training there in officer school, I got a call and got invited by Coach George Terry at West Point and said, "How'd you like to come to West Point and coach?" And my option that morning where I could either go to Korea or West Point. And I said, "Coach, I think West Point sounds better to me for some reason." So anyway, I loaded up my car and drove from El Paso, Texas to West Point, New York, and stayed there for 2.5 years. And it was there that I really felt the Lord was leading me into coaching. And it really calling me at that time to teach leadership through the game of football. And from that time, he's opened up the doors from Army to University of Tennessee and SEC and University of Florida for 7 years. Then I went with a good friend of mine, Bill Parcells. We were at West Point together and had become good friends. And when Bill got the head job at Air Force Academy, I went as his offensive coordinator. Now, Bill only stayed 1 year, went to the professional league after that, and I got the head job. And then I stayed there for 6 years and then went to the University of Arkansas and then also to Clemson University for 4 years and then ended up at Rice University for 12 years. So I had 13 years as an assistant coach in college and 27 as a head coach in college.
Whew. Yeah, for those folks who might not know where West Helena, Arkansas is, get a little demographic for those folks who might not know where it's at.
Well, just get on the Mississippi River. If you get on at Memphis, Tennessee, you'll run right by it because there's have a good place for boats to stop there at Helena and going all the way down to New Orleans to get to the Gulf. But you can start all the way up in north of where the Mississippi River really starts and come all the way down. And so we were old river rats there growing up.
You remember your first job growing up in West Helena?
The first job I had was doing what mother told me to do, whatever I was wanting, and it was there. But the best, one of the jobs we had was working at Mercury Motors, which was a company that moved gear and stuff that come in all hours of the night. And we'd go to work there at 6 a.m. and then we'd stay for about 8 or 9 hours. But it paid good money. That was the main thing. Then the other great job I had was my brother and I got to run the summer program, the Little League programs, and we would teach baseball to 4 teams in the morning. Then we'd have 4 teams play in the leagues at night. So that was fun working with young people once again that age and having a chance, Jody, to give back to the community.
Yes, sir. But did you play multiple sports in high school?
I did. I played everything in football. We had a good team. We were 11-1 my senior year. We only gave up 3 touchdowns in 12 games. And
wow.
Basketball, we won the state championship in the highest classification. And in baseball, we won the state championship in American Legion. And also in track, I ran low hurdles and long jump and all the relay races. So, hey, our coaches were also the football coaches. So if you're going to be there, they're going to get your tail out for track too. So, but it all also helped you, but it was good. And I enjoyed learning different sporting events and how to try to do good in each one of them. And also getting different coaching. It certainly helps when you can, I think, integrate other sports and learn from them. It'll help you in whatever your best one ends up being.
Were your parents big encouragers for you playing sports?
Most assuredly. From the early on, boy, the first time we could get in, even church league softball, Daddy used to run it and pitch for everybody when we'd have games before it. We were real big. We had good Cub Scouts. We had good Boy Scouts. We were always into sporting events and anything we could do because my brother and I both enjoyed all the sports and any kind of games that were out there. And so we were very blessed to be able to learn from so many coaches and had so many good teammates and great moments too, Jody.
And were you always drawn to the University of Arkansas to you go to college there? How did that process go for you?
It went that way mainly because Coach Broyles had come here and they just established the program.
Mm.
And early on, it was those great games against the University of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Royal and Coach Broyles were such good friends and good competitors too. So that game certainly meant and usually led to whoever was going to win the championship. So it was one of those games you wait for 365 days. But what Coach Broyles did with the radio show, and he united the whole state behind one program at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. And it was us against everybody else in the Southwest Conference who were really in the Texas. So it was us against everybody. And we were kind of the underdog all the time. But Coach Broyles and them and their staff had done such a great job. And the players who really were the pathfinders and came and set the example for us all made it a lot easier. We all wanted to come to Arkansas if you had a chance. The only other place I considered coming out of high school was the U.S. Military Academy of West Point.
Mm-hmm.
I had an opportunity to go there, and I thought long and hard about it because I liked what they stood for and the leadership aspect. And but in the end, I just felt like it was too far, and it could still get ROTC and military training at Arkansas, which we ended up doing for 4 years. So it worked out, and there's no doubt it was the best. But that was a challenging decision anyway.
That championship team in 1965 going 11-0 was just insane. I was reading some of your stats. You guys went 5 shutouts in a row. That's unheard of.
Jody, one of the big moments that ever happened in football for me, I was talking about when 1963, Texas, we went 5-5. We did not have a good year at all. Texas went undefeated and won the national championship. The next year, we're starting the year, and I'm not sure we'll ever win a game. But we kind of, played hard and played close early in the year. And then the 6th game of the year, midway through, we go to Texas to play University of Texas in Austin. Mm-hmm. And we play the game, and it's a great game. And we win the game 14-13. They had a 19-game winning streak, and they were still number 1 in the nation, a carryover from the year before. And I can still remember the celebration in the locker room after the game in Austin, the visitors' locker room. And all of a sudden, we're celebrating, and in walks Darrell Royal, the great Texas coach. And you could hear a pin drop there say, "What is he doing in our locker room?" And I'll never forget, it got quiet, and he said, "Men, I want to tell you one thing. Congratulations to you." He said, "You beat a great Texas team today. Mm-hmm. This isn't an ordinary. This team is as good as I've ever coached." And he said, "We will not lose another football game the rest of the year. If you don't stick to your knitting and what you're doing, if you fall short, we'll pick up the pieces because we will not lose another football game." Mm. And that was the motivation for us to shut out the last 5 opponents we played. Nobody scored. And then went in the Cotton Bowl with a great 80-yard drive late in the game, 10-7. And then everybody got together in the hotel and, believe it or not, cheered for Texas, first time in their lives. And they're playing Alabama in the Orange Bowl. And sure enough, on the half-inch line, Joe Namath tried to sneak in a winning score. And the great linebacker, Tommy Novus from Texas, stopped him a half an inch short. And so Texas wins the game, and with it, we get proclaimed national champions. So those are great moments you just don't forget, and they stick with you too, Jody.
You led the nation in punt returns in 1963 and 64. I've always been curious about punt returners. Do they see the field differently? Do you see for like a gap or a crease you can sit by?
Jody, I tell you, back then, the Coach Broyles and them brought in that you win in the days there, that most people, when we played football in the early 60s, you played both ways, offense and defense. Very rarely you came out. Mm-hmm. But the one thing they did, they said, if you're going to play that kind of game, the first thing you got to win is good defense. The second thing you do is don't beat yourself on offense. And then third thing, you got to win the fourth quarter. But what they spend a lot of time too, as part of, is the hidden part in the kicking game, and that's the belief in the punt return game. And when they first got here, they had probably as good as his ever return punts in Lance Allworth from Mississippi, and he was a jewel. But they worked so hard, the staff did, of on defense on fourth down, of setting up a wall one way or the other, right or left. And the punt returner's main job is catch the ball, and then second job is to get over to the wall, where everybody would hustle their butts off to get over and form a wall. And if you ever got the wall, then you could score.
Yep.
We probably spent more time than any other school I've ever been at of working on the punt return all the time, and certainly it paid dividends for us all the years Coach Broyles was here.
And you played defensive back. In a couple of words, how do you describe your gameplay? You kind of hit pretty hard, or you like Steve Atwater? How'd you play in the defensive back?
Well, at 160 pounds, I didn't just intimidate anybody. I'll say that. But we were good in defense. The great thing about playing defensive back is nobody got back there very much. We had such great defensive linemen and linebackers. The whole defense revolved around the linebackers. And guys like Wayne Harris, who made All-Pro up in Canada after playing 15 years. Guys like Ronnie Cavendish and Ronnie Mac Smith were our linebackers on our teams. And we always had great linebackers, and all the defensive line was to be sure to hold their area and kind of let the linebackers roam free and make tackles, which we just were truly outstanding in that regard, with Coach Matthews and Coach McKenzie and Bill Pace, Johnny Majors, and a lot of great coaches. And so I didn't get really challenged much. I think I had 10 interceptions in 3 years. Most of them were tip balls. I wasn't making we did not play much man-to-man. It's mostly zone coverage, and I'd get a tip ball every now and then. But I wasn't a great one-on-one cover guy, but I like to think I could hold on to them till somebody else could come tackle them to the ground anyway.
Slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe some of your teammates say on that championship team, and are you guys still in contact with each other today?
Well, we are. We sure did. Great thing, we had a reunion several years ago. Really, we got our championship rings, and then in 2014, we got back together, 50th anniversary, and we had everybody got new championship rings, 50th anniversary. We're going to have our 60th next year.
Wow.
But every year, everybody tries to get back. But we had tremendous players. Jimmy Johnson, of course, great player and coach, and Super Bowl champ. We did a great job at nose guard for us. Jim Williams, a tremendous player, is in the real estate in Dallas, been head of the Cotton Bowl committee for a long time. Jerry Jones, I think, may have a chance to make it big one day. He's working on it right now.
Yeah, he's kind of broke, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's working on it, I'll tell you that. But he has done such a great job for the University of Arkansas and giving back to Arkansas. Jim Lindsay, who played for Minnesota Vikings and everything, has just been a tremendous giver backer too, as most of the teammates are. And so we had 14 seniors, and we stay together, and we get back together wherever we can for a lot of the home games. And we all have our own special moments, but we together, it was the whole key. There really wasn't a dominant player that just said this one had to play good every week for us to win. We all had to do our part. And that's why it's been so good and been such a great example for me in coaching to go back and remember those teams and the little things that people did. And if you just stayed, you had a chance to play. But back then, Jody, we gave 50 scholarships a year. There was unlimited. You could have sometimes many as 150 guys on scholarships. So you didn't get many chances to really make the varsity. So the days you got up there, you better do good, or they'll forget about you after that. Just so many players. But all of the guys did such a great. We had lunch with Jim Lindsay today, and Bill Gray, who played defensive back and quarterback for us. Freddie Marshall lives around. I get to see Freddie a lot as a great quarterback who didn't start till full time till his 5th year here, and just played miraculously the whole year. Last week we had Bobby Crockett here, came to one of our luncheons, and Bobby lives in the area. He was our great receiver that actually won the Texas game in '65 after our '64 year. He caught about 7 or 8 passes the last drive of the game to win that game and pull it out too in '65. So many guys just did a great job. Jerry Welch, Glenn Ray Hines was inducted in the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame here about 2 weeks ago. He's passed away, but he was a great offensive tackle for us, and just so many great players for us. Lloyd Phillips, who's passed away, was an all-pro himself. And we just had a great run of talent, at that time that were good people. We all lived in the same dorm, so you got to know each other really well. They don't do that anymore. Everybody lives at different places on campus and different apartments and all. And so you miss that camaraderie, I think, that we made off the field as well as on the field.
And in 1968, you got your first coaching gig for the Tennessee Volunteers. What really drew you into coaching? I mean, it takes a special person to coach and be teachable and knowledgeable. What really drew you into coaching?
Well, as I said, my day started at West Point because I saw how much important football was to the mission of West Point and of training leaderships and of winning and giving the country an opportunity to know that the military is good and solid. And but just seeing leadership and seeing guys who were going to be leader, and there wasn't any doubt, out on the field, you can't hide from the opponent or anything else. In football, kind of is such that you have many opportunities to quit, many opportunities to keep going and get up and get knocked down and get up and do it again. But the biggest thing, too, was learning for all the different personalities to come together in a team atmosphere. And really, Jody, that's the only thing I had really when I coached at Air Force. I only had 3 fundamentals or foundations that I told our team. I said, number one, I want you to be thankful to God every day you got a chance to play college football. Because how many high school kids would love to play? They just don't have the talent to be in that next level. So I tell all of the college kids, hey, you be thankful every day God gave you the ability. It's up to you to be a good role model and give something back to other people that are watching you. The other thing I said is most games are won or lost by one play, and really a close game. You never know when that play is going to be there. So the only way you can do it is play your best this play. That's our motto. I'll play my best this play. If you do that in practice, you'll be ready to make the play at the last. And the third thing, Jody, we only have one rule ever on our team, and that was the team comes first. I told the guys it'll cover drinking, it'll cover anything action you're doing, going around, being away, thinking about doing so. Just ask yourself, if all our teammates were watching you, well, what you're getting ready to do, would it draw us closer together? If it will, do it. If it won't, don't. And that'll pretty much solve any problems or situations you get in. And that's what sports all about, and that's what we tried to do at all the teams that we ever had.
I was born and raised in Camden, huge Razorback fan, every Saturday in front of the TV. And when I was 14 years old, you took the helm of University of Arkansas from 84 to 89, the year I graduated and joined the Navy. Share about that experience that you grew up in Arkansas and now you're the head coach. What was that like for you?
Well, it was an opportunity Coach Broyles gave me to come back at the time, and it was a good time after Air Force Academy, and I appreciate the opportunity of starting as a head coach out there, and the players who gave us the chance to be successful there, to even be considered to come back to Arkansas at that time. And coming back here, the one thing about it, I just wanted every player to experience the fun of the Razorback tradition and family that we as players did 20 years earlier in 1964. And I really knew that the excitement I had in our very first game, we opened up in Little Rock War Memorial Stadium against the Ole Miss Rebels. And as we got there and we were standing, came out of the locker room, were standing there getting ready to run through the A, and the band and all the fans were there, and all. I just felt such a warmth and a great feeling that these players are going to enjoy the fans and the opportunity to wear that A and to run down that hill and represent the whole state of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Now that feeling lasted through the run out. That's about it. Because the first series we didn't make a first down. Ole Miss took the ball and went 80 yards and scored. Then we got the ball again. 3 plays punted. They took it 80 yards again and scored. Well, midway through the first quarter, we're down 14-0. Being an accounting major, I quickly added that up. Figured out at this pace, we're going to get beat 112-0 to Ole Miss in the first game. That ain't good, I don't think. So anyway, we made a change, and Donnie Centers, Brad Taylor made a great throw, and Donnie Centers made a great catch. And we end up tying the game. The only tie we ever had at Arkansas while I was there was the very first game. But we ended up tying Ole Miss, and then the other 5 years, we beat them every year. We never lost to them while we were there.
As a kid growing up in Arkansas, I attended several games at War Memorial Stadium. Arkansas is very unique. It's got 2 stadiums in Fayetteville and Little Rock to play in. Was that pros and cons? Was that cool? How'd that work for you?
As a player, it was the best thing going, because back in those days, Fayetteville was so hard to get to. You had to go up the Pig Trail or come over to Highway 71, which were treacherous ways for fans to get here. So, and the other thing they did is they only played afternoon games in Fayetteville, which made it extremely hard for all of our fans to get back home after a game.
Yep.
And so we played about 4 games a year in Little Rock and 3 in Fayetteville. And the Little Rock was always a blessing because fans from all over the state could drive there that morning, shop all day in Little Rock and enjoy the Capitol and all that area, go to the ball game and help pull the Hogs through, and then still get home in time to get ready for church the next day. It was appropriate, for area at Little Rock. It was just a tougher deal to come into Fayetteville. That's why all the games were in the afternoon, where people had time to get over the mountain after the game and all, which they end up doing. But it was really something. And I tell you, people hated coming to Little Rock because you can talk to a lot of the players and said it was loud as everything in those.
It was.
It was as loud as any stadium in the nation.
I still have some programs in a box of stuff of the games I went to, and looking at your record, 55-17-1 from 84 to 89. You got 2 Southwest Conference championships, which I miss the Southwest Conference because you got Arkansas played Texas every year, pretty close to my birthday, and those games are always fun to watch.
They were fun, and it was a unique opportunity in those days because we'd start all the practice for the whole year, and all your goal was to get to represent the Southwest Conference in the Cotton Bowl. Number 1, it was a January 1 bowl game, and 2, you had to earn your way in it. You couldn't get selected. So you had to win your way in it to represent the conference. So it was such a big deal, and that's what was all in our minds when we lift weights in the off season, when we'd run those extra stairs. Will this help us get to the Cotton Bowl with the opportunity to win it every year? And the great thing about it, about 95% of the players in the Southwest Conference all played against each other in high school.
Yeah.
Almost all of them knew each other, or they had somebody they knew, had played or met somewhere. So everybody knew each other, and there was such a uniqueness about it. It certainly made for interesting media coverage before every game because there were a lot of other side stories the media could come up with, in preparation for a ball game.
I don't remember exactly now. Did Paul Eels do? I know he did basketball for Arkansas. You did football too?
Yes, he did. Paul was as good as.
I miss him. Voice for the Hogs, man. Oh my goodness.
He was great, and he was just a gentleman. He never blindsided anybody with a question that would be off or make somebody uncomfortable. He was a true gentleman in the strictest sense, and we sure miss Paul.
And on January 2nd, 1989, you became the first player to coach to the Southwest Conference Championship. And that last program in the conference title to date as well. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. You got to look long and hard to find that, Jody.
Especially bowl games. I miss the 8 or so bowl games we had back in the day. It's not the 35 or 40 games that we have now. It's
Yeah,
just so many bowl games to look at. It's crazy.
it is, and it was such an honor, and that's why it was important. And we're very fortunate to be able to play in a lot of bowl games because it allowed all the Razorback Nation to go and to share with the other bowl places that we went, what Arkansas was all about and the support they had for the team, and they traveled well. And it was a hard thing to get a bowl, in those days too. There weren't that many. And I remember the first bowl game, really first game that my brother and I think my daddy took to us out of state was a Cotton Bowl game, believe it or not, when TCU played the Air Force Academy years ago. And I remember the Air Force Falcon was performing at halftime, and it was a cold day. They had to scrape snow off the field in the Cotton Bowl, and the dadgum Falcon was supposed to fly around and come back and get the meat, and they bring him back. Well, he got cold and flew up on a smokestack and never came down the second half. I said, he is really cold. He's staying up where it's warm right now.
It's warm, yep.
Yeah. He said, I'm not getting down there where all that's going on. But no, the bowl games were very special, and the fans would travel, and people knew where Arkansas was.
I'm not sure if you still follow a lot of college football now. They have something now that they didn't have when you were coaching, the NCAA transfer portal. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on that, but I understand the portal itself, and I think that the rules committee and the people have pretty much left it open that people can come and go when they want to, give them the freedom. And with the NIL the same way too. I think those things are making a lot of decisions for young people where there may be some good in it right there. There's certainly going to be some negative aspects of it, I think, when it's all said and done. And number one is the college football's first about education, because your football days are going to be over someday, period. Whether you get injured or whether you run out, and what do you have behind? What kind of academic preparation do you have? What kind of contacts did you make with other people?
And happy to get you back. A few more questions for you as we wrap up.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to interview a former player. I'm going to try to give you a few clues, see if you might tell who it was. Per his conversation, Trainer Dean played a joke on you. He said the player had a broken thumb during a drill. Do you remember? You weren't very appreciative of this joke, I heard.
Well, I don't remember broken.
He's now an author, and he wore number 8.
You think Greg broke his hand?
I talked to Greg offline. He goes, "Ask Coach this." He said it's a joke he played on. He wasn't very very happy with that joke.
Greg was a tough hombre, boy. I tell you, he was a tough leader.
I talked to him a while back about his book, and when he came to the program as well. A great little story he shares with me as well.
He was a tough one, boy. I'm telling you what, he'd look him right in the eye, and that's when we were recruiting him. I said, Greg, you want to play quarterback in college? You want to be a defensive back? I want to play quarterback. Well, come to Arkansas then. We're running what you run, so come on down. And he did a great job for us too.
Well, 27 years of coaching, you winning 168 games and 19 bowl games that you've been as a player, coach, winning some, losing some. Do you miss it?
I miss the associations, and I miss working with young people. Those parts of it, Jody. It's such a challenge today in this new era with the transfer and with the NIL and everything. It makes it a real challenge to keep cohesiveness in a team atmosphere each and every year, because you have so much changes that are going on all the time. And so I think the players are all going to have to adjust too. And it's like everything. Everybody talks about the good old days. Well, when we were there, I hear them 50 years ago, the good old days. The good old days are what you make them. If you make them good while you're there, you have good moments to remember. So it's just a matter of you want an equally competitive situation in whatever area that you are, whether it be high school, junior high, college, pro, semi-pro. You just want an equal shot to get everything. And that right now there's just I'm just afraid that the money speaks so much that some teams are going to continue to try to buy their way into those top 12 teams every year.
Yeah.
And you try to do it, then you're going to not end up giving more opportunities for some teams like you were hoping to be able to do. So I'm hoping they'll be able to do something, that makes it an equal competitive situation for all the teams every year. That's what everybody's looking for. No, I learned a long time ago. If not there, just they got to have their own opportunity to do what they want to do, and it's a matter of just surrounding yourself with good people. I like our coaching staff here at Arkansas. They care about the people, and I think they put good people out on the field to represent us on and off the field. And hey, we're Razorbacks thick and thin. You know that, Jody. We're going to stay with them all the way.
Yes, sir. I live here in Washington State, and every time the Hogs are on, my mom calls me or texts me, "Hey, Arkansas is on. Arkansas is on." They're still in the Hot Springs area, so every Saturday, or even baseball. My mom watches Razorback baseball all the time. They're doing really good too.
Yes, sir. They're doing great. We follow them closely too. Baseball, basketball, all of them. The tracks just continued to dominate, and the girls softball team is really outstanding too. So there's a lot of good things happening here, Jody.
I love talking to anybody from Arkansas. You, Greg Johnson. You want to get Jimmy Johnson or Jerry Jones on, or Coach Noah Richardson. I love talking Hogs. I really appreciate the time. Thanks so much. God bless you and your family. And just a tremendous opportunity to talk to you today. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Jody. God bless you and have a good day.
Yes, sir. Thank you too. God bless.
Bye-bye.
This is Sunday and Mr. Gessel, my blue heaven.
Call, and morning is nigh. Oh, welcome to my blue heaven. Oh, just turn to the right. Oh, there's a little one light. Oh, where to lead you to my blue heaven. Oh, you'll see a smiling face and a warm embrace, a little oh, a little loveliness with those good old roses bloom. Oh, just Jason and me and a puppy makes three. Oh, how happy we'll be in my blue heaven. Take it, baby. just turn to the right. Oh, there's a little white light. Oh, will I lead you to my blue heaven? Oh, you'll see a smiling face and a warm embrace. Oh, a little room. Oh, a little mess with those good old roses bloom. Oh, just Jason and a puppy makes three. Oh, how happy we'll be in my blue heaven. Oh, how happy we'll be in my blue heaven. Yeah.
I know we all hate commercials, but the next 3 commercials are from my sponsors. I'm so thankful to have them on. We have Lone Star Donuts, Tequila and Tequila Street, and Double D's Barbecue and Smokery coming up next. When I say barbecue, does your mouth just start to water? Barbecue. Well, I got the place for you to go check out, right? Double D's Barbecue and Smokery. They got the best tasting ribs, dry rub ribs, and the meat just literally fell off the bone the last plate I had. Delicious. Also, they have pulled brisket, pulled pork, sides like bacon, macaroni, and cheese, coleslaw, beans, and cream corn with green chilies. Little kick. Delicious. And a dessert, banana pudding. That's right, banana pudding. Where can you find that at, right? See, Brett and Dawn, the owners of Double D's, are both strong military veterans. They have found a home here in the Pacific Northwest, and their roots range from Texas to North Carolina and everywhere in between. They bring their amazing flavors to their ribs and their food truck, which is a catering business as well. You can reach them at 360-960-9093. They're on Facebook, Instagram. That's right, Double D's Barbecue and Smokery. Delicious tasting ribs and barbecue. You got it. Check them out. I got one word for you. Donuts. Delicious, tasting, mouth-watering donuts. Can be found at Lone Star Donuts, a locally owned and operated business here in Kitsap County. They have 2 locations. Both of them have over 50 flavors, including apple fritters, bear claws, maple bars with real bacon, field donuts with apple, lemon, lime, and other amazing flavors. They also have a donut called the Butterfinger Donut, the Banana Split Donut. I love coffee. Of course, they have the coffee donut and donut bites. Go down and see my friends at Lone Star Donuts in Silverdale, or you can call and place your order today at 360-204-5021, or head down to 10786 Maury Place in Silverdale. Also, over in the Port Orchard area, they have another location at 2649 Mile Hill Drive. You can call there at 360-443-2600 to get your amazing donuts. We know you can't buy happiness, but you know what? Buying donuts is kind of the same thing. Go down and see my friends at Lone Star Donuts in Silverdale or in Port Orchard. That's Lone Star Donuts. Are you craving some authentic, fresh Mexican food? I am. I want to tell you about 2 businesses here in Silverdale, Washington. They're both locally owned and operated. They got some of the best tasting Mexican food around. The first one is Tequila Street. They're a local food truck located at 9571 Silverdale Way in Silverdale, Washington. They got some best tasting breakfast burritos you'll ever find, including the Breakfast Tex Burrito, the Breakfast California Burrito, the Breakfast Ultimate Burrito, and my favorite, the Barbecue Pork Burrito. Delicious. They also add items like tacos, burritos, and other great tasting items. Call and place your order today. Go out and pick it up at 360-914-9152. That's at Tequila Street. Also, at the Kitsap Mall, Tequila. They have 5 kinds of tacos there. That's right, 5. including burritos, taquitos, taco salads, and my favorite, grilled jalapenos, yummy, and many, many more delicious items. Also, on Taco Tuesdays, tacos are 50% off. That's right, 50% off. Where can you find that deal, right? Call and place your order today at 360-698-4335 or head over to the website at tequizatacoshop.com and get some more great tasting, authentic Mexican food at Tequiza, located at the Kitsap Mall. Their number again is 360-698-4335.
This next song is by Francesca Tarantino, also known as Francesca T, with her song, My Runaway.
I gotta get a move on. I gotta get myself out of here. The chills are taking over, filling my whole body with fear. Please someone take me home. I gotta get out of here in time. And now at this point I can't tell if I will escape from here alive. One step, here where you going. 2 steps, come back and party. 3 steps, I should have been out the door. Oh, it's just so hard to escape, but I just gotta take some time away from here. Oh, what are they gonna think? Ditching out so quick, running away. I gotta run away. I'm hearing windows smashing, people are throwing glasses on the walls. I try to check the time, see about 30 missed phone calls. Feel people grabbing me, I push and shove my way through the crowd. So much I can take, my inner voice is screaming out loud. One step, here where you going. 2 steps, come back and party. 3 steps, should have been out the door. Oh, it's just so hard to escape, but I just gotta take some time away from here. Oh, what are they gonna think? Ditching out so quick, running away. I gotta run away. One step, here we're going. 2 steps, come back and party. 3 steps, should have been out the door. Oh, it's just so hard to escape, but I just gotta take some time away from here. Oh, what are they gonna think? Ditching out so quick, running away. I gotta run away.
This is A Million Hands by Grieve the Astronaut.
Each day we rise up and wash the pain away. Each night we lie down, our dreams take us away. We keep on asking, where will we be one day? Journeys foreboding and daunting price to pay. Instead of wanting to believe, spread your arms around a willingness to simply let it be. In the end, the world will come to you. A million hands embracing thoughts of forever loving you. Game's never ending. When will we ever learn? Hidden in the silence, the future's unobserved. Each day we rise up and wash the pain away. Each night we lie down, our dreams take us away. Instead of wanting to believe, spread your arms around a willingness to simply let it be. In the end, the world will come to you. A million hands embracing thoughts of forever loving you.
Thanks so much for listening today here at the podcast and joining this episode with Coach Ken Hatfield. Fun times. Just reminiscing about the good old days when he played for Arkansas and when he coached for Arkansas, as well as the other organizations he coached for. Also have amazing music on, and their websites I'll give you: grievetheastronaut.com, Francesca T Music, she's on Instagram, and Sunday Mr. Gessel, their website's sundaeamorgoessl.com. Please subscribe and follow the podcast. It's on iHeartRadio, Anchor, and many other podcasting platforms, as well as our website. That's chitandchatpodcast.com, CHITNCHAT podcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, encourage someone. This is Chit Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast. It's always about encouraging others. This is Chit and Chat, the encouraging one-on-one podcast.
It's always about encouraging others.